Hi, Zoe.
Okay.
Do you know what video this is?
Guy.
That's right. This is video number 5. And do you know what we're talking about in video number 5?
Guy.
Are we talking about your super ears,
See.
your special mouth,
Little down.
and your beautiful eyes?
Guy.
That's right, honey.
Hey friends, welcome back to Cranio Family Vlog. We are talking about how vision, hearing, and speech are affected by Cranio. And let's start with vision. It is very common for kids to need glasses who have Cranio. When you think about how the skull is affected, that also affects anything on the face, and it increases the chances of eyes working a little bit differently or even independently. In Zoe's case, she's had some muscle corrective surgery on her eyes to help them work together, and she also has glasses now because she is nearsighted.
Yeah, and we've noticed with a lot of other families in the community that we are friends with online or that we follow, that glasses is almost one of the first things that the child winds up with, usually before they're even 2 years old. They get the really cool sports glasses that wrap around your head, like those of us who grew up a while ago probably saw with other kids in sports for gym, and the really cool glasses that are less likely to break. So there is a lot of, or a very high prevalence of need for glasses and often corrective surgery for the muscles of the eyes.
And even in addition to that, a lot of the kids have lower set ears as well. So even if it's maybe more typically shaped, just the fact that it's lower on the head makes it much more inclined to ear infections and just different issues with hearing correctly or hearing effectively.
And I think probably the biggest and coolest thing when Zoe first got her hearing aids that really let us know that we had finally made the right decision is the moment that the hearing aids went in. Zoe was sitting in Katie's lap, and we were in this very small office with an amazing ENT doc who turned them on, and we sat there, and Katie said something, and Zoe's eyes got about this big, and she looked at Katie, and she just looked at her and said, "I hear you, Mama." And I am not afraid to tell you that it was hard not to just burst out in tears in that very moment.
It was one of those things that we didn't know the significance and the impact of what hearing aids would do for Zoe. As far as testing, she had always registered as low to moderate, which is really a huge scale when you think about it. As far as how much does that mean? Does that mean you can hear most words? Half of the words? You know, it's hard to tell what that actually meant. And so when I was the first person to try putting the hearing aid in her ear, and it was amazing. Just to see the difference within seconds. The model that she has, it has a little red light that flashes to let you know that it's on and that the battery's working. And it gives you a few seconds of delay to put it in so that she doesn't hear the ringing until it's actually placed in. And so I was watching that little light, and it was, as soon as it started flashing, it was like her eyes got big as the light turned on. And she was like, "Mama, I hear you talking." And yeah, it was hard not to burst right into tears right in that second in the audiologist's office. It was amazing.
And the last thing when it comes to eating and speech, now I've noticed, and I know Katie has as well, that within the community this doesn't seem to be as large as an issue as it is for Zoe. Zoe has a very long medical classification as to what her presentation is. But one of the things that she was also born with due to her cranio is a very, very, very high arched palate. When I say very high arched palate, when she was within a day old, I put my pinky into her mouth and I couldn't feel the roof of her mouth. Her craniofacial surgeon, which is one of the best ones in the United States, she is actually one of the top ranked in the world when it comes to some of the things that she does involving craniosynostosis, said that she almost had a cleft palate, which is one of the things that she also specializes in. So that made it very hard for Zoe to latch. In fact, Zoe couldn't latch for breastfeeding. So we had specialized bottles, and we were trained in a nasogastral tube, which is a little tiny thin tube that goes in through the nose, down the throat, and into the stomach, so that our daughter could be fed, because she wasn't able to take in food the way that most babies do.
These are all elements that can be very extreme, they can be slight, they might even be non-existent in some cranio patients. There's just a large spectrum there of what is affected and what isn't. But within the additional areas that are affected, usually within the head, like vision, hearing, speech, eating, those areas are usually affected more commonly than anything else.
So there we are. In less than 5 minutes, we walked you through how craniosynostosis, at least in our case, has affected our daughter's vision, hearing, and her ability to eat when she was an infant. We are doing our best to try to get you as much knowledge as we possibly can about craniosynostosis this month. For those of you that haven't caught on or just now joining us, September is Craniofacial Awareness Month, and we're trying to do something that we've tried before, but hopefully this time we can actually make it happen, and that's to put out a video every single day in the month of September to talk about something involving craniosynostosis, to help educate those of you that live on the other side of the veil. And our entire mission has been to pierce that veil and to let you know what it's like to have a child who has cranio.
And we are answering one question every day that among the questions that we've heard most often when it comes to craniosynostosis. And so I want to thank you so much for sticking with us and for learning with us. Please keep the questions coming. If you are interested in learning more, we would love to share more. And stay tuned for future questions and learning more for the rest of the month of September.
We really enjoy what we're doing when we're talking about craniosynostosis and how it's affected our family, and to give you some ideas of things to know going forward. If you want to know more about our journey and where we've been for the last 5 years with our daughter Zoe, don't be afraid to head over to craniofamilyblog.com and check out our blog there and follow along. Thank you again so much, and we will see you tomorrow with another question answered. Have a good one.